Hello everyone, I'm Global. Welcome back to our weekly news program. This is MMTV. This week we are back again to present the current domestic affairs of Myanmar, starting off with the situation of interest between international countries and the difficulties that are being faced within Myanmar. I am Nui Umar. Now we should start presenting the Myanmar affairs that happened during the week. Firstly, we have the news that it's been a challenge to repair homes damaged by Cyclone Mocha in MMTV. In MMTV Township, southern Chin State, they have not received any help to repair the homes damaged by Typhoon Mocha, and because the military council troops have banned entry and exit from the town, MMTV residents said that they cannot buy the materials needed to repair the houses. A resident of MMTV said that the shelters are needed to be repaired for the damaged houses and they cannot enter MMTV town. We have lost a lot of aluminium corrugated sheets for our house. We have to buy these aluminium corrugated sheets in the city, and now the entrance and the exits of the cities are closed, which is not convenient. We cannot buy anything. The Qing National Consultative Council, ICNCC, announced that 887 homes were damaged in MMTV Township due to Storm Mocha, which hit Chin State on March 14 at 50 to 70 miles per hour. ICNCC also announced on May 17 that in total, over 1,700 houses in Chin State and 887 houses in MMTV Township were destroyed by the storm. 364 in Midden Township, 222 in Balawa Township, 112 in Gambalet Township, 85 in Hakka Township, 74 in Phalam Township, 27 in Tendlan Township, 5 houses in Titim Township. Residents said that they also need basic food, basic household medicines, and things to build back for the damaged houses in the areas that were destroyed. In other news, we have 80% of the city of Bagdor was destroyed by Storm Mocha. Due to Cyclone Mocha, about 80% of residential buildings in Bagdor were destroyed, said a resident of Bagdor. It is reported that the roofs of the residential buildings in Bagdor town were damaged by the storm, and the materials needed for repair are also in short supply. Electricity and phone lines were still cut from May 14 when the storm hit until May 18, and the local people also said the only roof and high places have phone lines. And a local resident also said the water supplied to some residential areas in Bagdor town is also contaminated with salt water. The residents said that in the villages of Tharador and Ngapi, 6 drinking ponds were flooded with salt water due to the storm, and they had to buy 10 liters of water from Sidra town at a price of around 2,000 kyats. There are around 400 houses in the villages of Ngapi and Tharador, and around 300 houses were damaged by the storm. Similarly, in Bagdor Township, a local resident of a particular village said that 95% of more than 400 houses were destroyed. Moving on to the next news, we have help is needed in Buthidaung after the Mocha storm. After the storm Mocha hit Rakhine State in Buthidaung Township, the storm-affected residents need help for their livelihood. Due to the cyclone that hit the Rakhine coast on May 14, houses and buildings were destroyed in Buthidaung Township. He also said that there's a lack of communications and food difficulties. There are about 15 affected villages in Buthidaung Township, and one village group includes about 6 villages. In Buthidaung Township, before the storm, there were only 300 kyats per egg, and now the egg costs at least 500 kyats or more, and even if you have the money, you cannot buy it, said the resident. He also said that the telephone lines were also cut off due to the storm, and since you can only communicate with an ATM SIM card in Buthidaung City, the price of a SIM card has gone from 5,000 kyats to 60,000 kyats right now. In other news, 16 villages between Radaydaung and Maldor are in need of emergency assistance. 16 villages in Rakhine State, close to the Bay of Bengal between Radaydaung and Maldor, are in need of emergency aid, according to charity workers. Humanitarians who saw the ruins noted that these 16 villages will be the hardest hit by Cyclone Mocha. Charity workers who visited the village yesterday told the BBC among those villages, Dongbike village suffered the worst with 13 dead and 30 injured. Along the road leading to the villages, many cattle were found dead from the strong winds, charity workers said. Now we will summarize the extreme conditions in the Abal regions due to the Cyclone Mocha. In Kani Township, it is said that, and quote, there are currently 2 columns entering Kani Township. We were also affected by the storm. There's still some rain and about 20 villages are still fleeing. We used to be able to cook and feed the evacuees, and now there's a storm and we cannot cook and feed them anymore. Those who escaped the war had to cook and eat by themselves. In some convenient villages, do not cook food. In Yemen, one of the residents said, quote, "I heard that yesterday on May 15, a plane was shot down in Yemen township. In the villages next to the Myanmar River, about 9 villages were flooded. Crops and some of the household items were submerged in the flood due to the rapid rise of the rainwater due to the breach of the Myanmar River Dam. Currently, we need clean water and medicine. It is necessary for the re-establishment." In Selingjin Township, the houses of the citizens, which were burnt down, and the temporary tents were flooded. Since it is the lower part of the area, the rainwater has reached below the needs. Cooking is difficult. They are distributing lunchboxes. Selingjin Township villages were flooded due to the overflowing of the dam. The water level of the Chindwin River rose to about 9 meters yesterday. It is also reported that the boats on the shore were also washed away. Myanmar experienced a lot of storm because there are 6 districts altogether in Myanmar. A total of 86 villages in the town. Out of these, farmers who grow spring seeds, sesame, green beans, and mung beans for summer irrigations in more than 30 villages in 4 districts have had their fields flooded due to excessive rain. Some of them had to deal with the loss of beans during the harvesting process due to the arrival of the Mocha storm during the bean harvest period. As for the people who make a living by raising livestock for subsistence, cattle, sheep, many of them were killed and lost as well. Moving on, we have thousands of acres of beans and sesame plantations were destroyed in Simchuchun Township due to Typhoon Mocha. Due to the Mocha storm, Magway local reported that thousands of acres of bean and sesame plantations in Seling Township and Simchuchun Township were destroyed. About 20 acres of sesame and 24 acres of beans were destroyed. The amount invested in planting is about 5 lakhs per acre. There are also onion garages not newly planted but not in a collecting period either. Sesame seeds are about to be harvested. As for the beans, the ones that are about to be picked are submerged in water. The lot costed between 5 to 6 lakhs at a local farmer from Simchuchun Township. It is said that one storm suddenly overflowed the Seling Creek and flooded the villages along the creek. The bean and sesame fields of these villages were also flooded. When the cyclone Mocha entered the inland area, it did rain heavily, and the villages along the creek flooded thousands of acres of beans and sesame crop after the flood of Simchuchun Township. The residents said that 3 local residents were drowned in the water and died in the unprecedented flood. There was a lot of damage caused by cyclone Mocha in other areas as well, when looking at the overall nation scales. As the casualties, the United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, UNOCHA, announced on May 16 that 41 people were killed and 700 injured in Myanmar due to the cyclone Mocha. Due to the storm, transportation and communication lines are still interrupted, causing casualties. The details of the damages are still not yet known. The number of the casualties is increasing, and as of yesterday, May 17 in the afternoon, 48 people have died nationwide according to the military council. There are also hundreds of dead and missing people in the Rohingya village camps alongside the seashore near Sittwe. It is also reported that 3 people were washed away and died in Simchuchun Township in Magway region due to a sudden flood during the storm. If you look at the damage on the national scale, according to media reports, 44,928 houses, 435 religious buildings and monasteries, 439 schools, 59 hospitals, 11 communication towers, 2 airports, 1 market, and 158 departmental buildings were damaged nationwide due to the storm Mocha. 3,676 homes were completely destroyed in 98 villages in Magway and 724 homes in Chin State. The United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, announced that 9 schools and 10 churches were also destroyed. UNICEF further announced that in Mangdor Township, northern Rakhine State, electricity and communication lines are still out, and the refugee camps in Sittwe have been severely damaged. Residents said that the entire Rakhine State, including the city of Sittwe, who fell in the epicenter of the storm, was heavily damaged, and some towns were 90% damaged. As an emergency across the country, in the capital of Rakhine State, they have to clean up the ruins of their own, and there is a difficulty in the living. Residents of Sittwe said that nothing has been done by the military council. Sittwe City is currently unable to buy food. The price of goods in the area is extremely high, and in addition, electricity and communication lines are still out. Emergency relief material for emergencies are needed in storm-prone areas. Shelter food, clean water, and sanitation systems have been released by the United Nations. The World Health Organization (WHO) plans to provide health supplies to 200,000 people in storm-affected areas where access to clean drinking water and sanitation is difficult due to the risks of diarrhea and other diseases. It's a real nightmare because the storm hits areas that were in need from the beginning, said Ramanathan Balakrishnan, the UN Resident Coordinator's representative in Myanmar. As rehabilitations and financial needs, the representative of the United Nations in Myanmar expressed that there is a need to fill a large amount of funds for the restorations of storm-affected areas. According to the 2023 Myanmar Humanitarian Response Plan, Myanmar Humanitarian Response Plan 2023, only 10% of the requested funds of 764 million have been received. OCHA also announced that the amount does not include the storm Mocha. So far, the Singapore government has announced a donation of $50,000 and $200,000 from the United States for the people affected by the storm. The NUG announced that more than 640 million kyats have been spent as initial aid funds for the 6 provinces and territories affected by the Mocha storm, including Rakhine State, and 1,000 million have been donated to aid forces for Rakhine region relief work. The NUG Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management announced that the initial aid money for Rohingya camps in Rakhine State, Chin State, Magway region, Sagaing region, Rangoon region, and Cox's Bazar region of Bangladesh has been spent until yesterday. In addition, according to a congratulatory letter issued by Rakhine Army AA, NUG has donated 1,000 leg Myanmar jets for emergency relief operations in the Rakhine region. According to the reports of AA forces, KIO has donated 3 million jets to the Rakhine region, and Gogan forces, MNDAA, and NUG have donated 1 million jets each. The international community has been invited to cooperate with the National Unity Government to help and rescue the people affected by the storm. The National Unity Government and the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management has invited the international community to provide support for the people affected by the extremely powerful cyclone Mocha. Typhoon Mocha crossed Rakhine State on May 14, and when it entered the land, the wind speed was about 120 per hour. On the night of May 14, there are many people who are affected by the storm as it crossed Magway and Sagaing, Rakhine State and Chin State. IDPs and refugee camps in various parts of the country are also affected by the storm. But the military council is only targeting the people who are affected by the storm and is creating a war situation. Therefore, the international community has invited the people to cooperate with the National Unity Government to help. The National Unity Government has set up a fund of $1 million for the emergency response to Cyclone Mocha and is carrying out relief operations. There are all the news related to Cyclone Mocha during the week. If we continue, it is known that around 15,000 refugees in that KNU brigade area are in need of assistance. The Karen National Union, KNU, has requested the International Karen Emergency Relief Committee to provide emergency assistance to more than 15,000 residents who are fleeing the war in the control area in Yanglebin District, Bago region. As of May 14, the 11 villages were destroyed within 3 days. More than 50,600 residents from more than 3,000 households are fleeing, according to the May 17 statement of the Karen Emergency Relief Committee. An official of the committee said that because the military council troops were attacking Jakji and Tandabin Township, entire villages were fleeing in the rain. The entire village is fleeing because more than 100 troops are coming in a column. The people are not daring to stay in the village anymore because the whole village is fleeing for fear of the same situation as in Nyangbinda. It is said that the military council is targeting local people and committing human rights violations. On May 10, 4 children died in Nyangbinda village, Tandabin Township. The mass burning and killing of 20 local people, including 11 women, by the military council is a flagrant violation of human rights, and we call on the international community to take effective actions against such actions. Karen National Union KNU Central Committee member Bado Sokale said that the offensive by the military council troops arresting and killing villagers with airstrikes has increased the number of people fleeing the war within days. The KNU has also announced that more than 400,000 people have fled the war in KNU-controlled areas due to airstrikes since the military dictatorship. Moving on, we have the news that the Move Forward Party won many seats in Thailand elections. The leader of the Move Forward Party stated at the press conference where he said that he would take prior action related to Myanmar issue. Number one, middle-class countries need to help each other. Regional stability is important. Number two, we will encourage the implementation of 5 ASEAN common agreements. Number three, we will help establish war-free zone for humanitarian aid. Number four, the policy of the United States that enacted the Burma Act are important. In cooperation with the international community, we will also provide pressure and incentives so that the people in Myanmar can solve their country issues by themselves. In the end, it's right is might, might is not right. Truth is strength, strength is not the truth, he replied. In other news, we have, for appointing Peter as Prime Minister to form a government and form an alliance with MFP and 7 other parties. On May 18 morning in Thailand, Bangkok, after the alliance ceremony of Thai Party held at Okura Prestige Hotel, was able to agree in principle that the Move Forward Party, which won the most votes, would join the other 7 parties as an alliance. The parties that have agreed are the Move Forward Party MFP, Pheu Thai Party, which won the second highest number of votes, Prachachat Party, Thai Sang Thai Party, Sri Run Thai Party, Fair Party, Plang Song Kong Mai Party, and Pi Thai Run Plang Party. To form a Thai government and appoint a new prime minister, the 250 non-elected military representatives and 500 members of the lower house need to get the most votes, so a total of 376 seats need to be obtained. Now that the 8-party alliance has formed, it still has 313 seats and 63 more seats are needed to elect MFP leader Peter Limjaroenrat as the country's 30th prime minister. Pheu Thai Party leader Cholanan Sirikiao made it clear that his party will do its best to mobilize to get the necessary seats and fully support Peter to become the prime minister. However, the MFP party is planning to abolish the controversial Article 122 of the law protecting the honor of the Thai royal family. Keeping this law as it is, Cholanan Sirikiao said that he will sign the Alliance Party Formations MOU on May 22nd after looking at the proposed law amended by the MFP. Last but not least, we have the Labour policy of MFP, the party that won the elections, will include equal rights for Thai and Burmese workers. On May 17, the Democratic Party, Move Forward Party, which defeated the dictatorial military parties in Thailand and won the election, stated that the Labour policy of the Move Forward Party includes the policy of giving Myanmar migrant workers equal rights with Thai workers. Thailand's economy has been mainly dependent on Burmese migrant workers for many years, but in the past, Burmese migrant workers are not even allowed to do hairdressing jobs, other skilled labor jobs and sales. It is clarified that the MFP party has established 4 labor policy after forming the government for Myanmar migrant workers who are only allowed to do casual labor. There are 4 main policies related to labor affairs: migrant workers who also have equal rights with Thai workers. All workers in Thailand, regardless of the country, have equal rights to worker protections, to follow the rules and regulations of the International Labour Organizations (ILO), and to provide equal rights for the welfare of all workers. In the South China Morning Post, it is said that the MFP party victory in elections in Thailand is due to the fact that the party has a good understanding of the Myanmar issue. However, after the formation of the MFP party government, it is also important to be very cautious in dealing with the Burmese Military Council as well. To conclude, everyone, this is a recap of the news that we've gathered during the week. We also would like to request and urge everyone to help the people who were displaced due to the needs of the Mocha storm. And every day, Myanmar is still trying to achieve democracy and human rights in many various ways. Therefore, as people all over the world, as well as each country in the world, we would like to request everyone to help restore democracy and basic human rights in relation to current Myanmar issues. Thank you all very much. This is MMTV Weekly News, and see you all next week. This is Nui Umar.